Here's a person I tweet with often and see her tweets all over the place. Lisa Larder is here. How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Finally, I get to meet you face to face.
I know.
The funny thing is, speaking of kindness and the like, when I saw Lisa this morning, it felt like I had already met you. You know what I mean? And that's the way social networking works, I think. And this is one of the ways that people can get involved with the Ultimate Kindness Project. Tell me about it.
Well, about a year ago, I was on Facebook and I read an article that was in the Ottawa Citizen about a woman that I know who has a foster child. And they call him the Wonder Kid because he was born with a medical condition and wasn't expected to live. And I knew this woman through networking events, but I didn't realize that she had chosen to foster this child.
Right.
And she had posted something on Facebook about needing a new van. And so I just decided to do something. I wrote a blog that morning, I published a blog, I added some PayPal buttons, and I said, let's get this woman some wheels and help her out. And within 48 hours, we raised $5,000. And we've continued to raise money, and now we're holding an event, and we really want to make a difference in their life.
Your goal is to raise $25,000?
Our goal is to raise $25,000. We need a van that can be retrofitted for his wheelchair so that he can get in and out of the van easily, can carry his medical equipment. He's on oxygen full time, so he travels with, I've seen pictures of the equipment, and there's quite the stash of equipment that has to go with him.
Right,
so
right.
This isn't a luxury. The van that she's driving right now has close to 400,000 kilometers on it. It's rusted. It's not super reliable.
Right. You, obviously the reason you did this was to help them out, ultimately. But you have a way of doing it with social media now that really points out its value, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We can tweet about it, we can post it on Facebook, and as soon as you start to talk about it, all these other people talk about it. The really cool thing is we've had donations from all over the world. And people who have no idea who she is, but they read the blog and it touched them in some way.
Yeah, and we're seeing more and more of this thing. I remember the woman on the school bus in the States, although to me it got out of hand. But it started as a campaign to get her a few dollars, and she ended up with, in my opinion, a little too much.
Yeah.
Right, so it can be overwhelming to a degree, but it is an opportunity for people to get involved that may not necessarily be connected geographically.
That's right.
To the project at hand, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think what's interesting is some of the recipients are not necessarily what I would call social influencers. They're not the people that are out there asking for help or necessarily have the platform to garner the attention to get help.
Oftentimes now it's a third party,
exactly.
Right? And obviously you know this woman, and that's fine and dandy, but in many cases we see them, there's no connection really whatsoever until they get a project going, and lo and behold, everybody's
And there's micro-funding on sites like Kickstarter today, where you can set up projects and raise money that way to help causes. It's actually kind of great.
This works, obviously, the Ultimate Kindness Project is something you're doing out of the kindness of your heart for somebody else, but there's a way to use social media and all those things to further your business. We're going to talk about that coming up in our next segment.
Yes.
Some tips for people.
Absolutely.
So just look for the Ultimate Kindness Project.
Yeah, ultimatekindnessproject.com.
I know you want to do that right now, so go do that. You got a couple of minutes to do it. It only takes 30, 40 seconds. Then come back and we'll get some business tips for you. Oh, 2.5? We got 2.5 minutes? Oh, come on, people. You can make a couple of donations.
Well, we have an event too.
Yeah.
We have an event. If they go to lisalarder.com/wheels, we have a live event coming up on August 28th.
So they can
come to the event, they can learn from me, they can learn from Roger, and they can support the cause at the same time.
We'll talk more about that and some tips for you coming right up here on CTV Morning Live.